The cold was killing them slowly. Commander Lisa Grant stood in the control room of the mining colony on planet Kepler 442c. Her breath came out like white smoke in the freezing air. She looked at the daily reports on her tablet, and each number told the same story. They were running out of time. The main power reactor had broken down 3 months ago. Since then, everything had gone wrong. The backup power units were dying one by one. People were burning chairs, tables, and even their own clothes just to stay warm for a few more hours. Dr. Kevin Hayes walked into the room. He was the colony's main doctor. His face looked tired and sad. "Commander, we lost 6 more people last night," he said quietly. "The cold killed them. Their bodies just stopped working. The children are getting sick fast. We can't keep them warm enough." Captain Bill Morrison came in next. He was in charge of keeping everyone safe. "Food is almost gone too," he said. "The plant-growing rooms froze 2 weeks ago. All our crops are dead. What little food we have left will only last maybe 1 more week." Lisa walked to the big window and looked outside. The planet looked like a frozen wasteland. Snow and ice covered everything as far as she could see. The temperature outside was minus 40 degrees. Their machines that kept them alive were breaking down. She had sent 3 emergency messages to Earth asking for help, but Earth was so far away that even radio signals would take years to get there. The colony had 847 people when they first landed here 2 years ago. Now they were down to 623. Every day more people died from the cold or sickness. The children were the weakest. They couldn't fight the cold like the adults could. Lisa remembered when they first came to this planet. It was supposed to be their new home. The planet had valuable metals deep underground that Earth needed. The mining operation was going well until the reactor broke. Now their dream of a new life had turned into a nightmare. In the living areas, families huddled together under blankets. Parents held their children close, trying to share body heat. Old people sat near the small fires that people made from burning whatever they could find. The smoke made everyone cough, but at least the fires gave a little warmth. Mary Jenkins, who used to grow food for the colony, now spent her days taking care of the sick. She moved from room to room, checking on people and giving them small cups of hot water when she could. "Stay strong," she would tell them. "Help will come." But Lisa wasn't sure help would come. They were alone on a frozen planet, millions of miles from Earth. Just then, Engineer Amy Foster ran into the control room. Her face was red from the cold, but her eyes were bright with excitement. "Commander," she called out, "our sensors are picking up something. There's a ship coming toward us from outer space." Lisa felt her heart beat faster. "Is it from Earth? Is it human?" Amy shook her head. "No, Commander. It's not like any ship we've ever seen before. The computer doesn't recognize it, but it's huge, much bigger than any Earth ship." Word spread quickly through the colony. People left their cold rooms and gathered in the main hall. Through the big windows, they could see lights moving across the sky. Strange beams of light swept back and forth across the frozen ground, like the ship was looking for something. Some people started to pray. Others whispered to each other, wondering if the ship came to help them or hurt them. Children pressed their faces against the cold glass, watching the lights dance across the sky. Lisa stood with her people, watching the unknown ship. She thought about all the science fiction movies she had watched as a child. Were aliens real? Were they friendly or dangerous? Right now, she didn't care. Her people were dying, and this ship might be their only hope. Dr. Hayes stood next to her. "What do you think, Commander? Should we try to contact them?" Lisa looked around at her people. She saw the hope in their eyes mixed with fear. Babies cried in their mother's arms. Old people coughed from the cold air. Everyone was waiting for her to decide what to do. "We don't have a choice," Lisa said. "We're all going to die if we don't get help soon. Whatever is on that ship, we have to try talking to them." Captain Morrison nodded. "I agree. We have nothing left to lose." Amy went back to her computers to try to send a message to the alien ship. The whole colony waited and watched as the mysterious lights continued to move across their frozen world. Outside, the wind howled like a wild animal. Ice covered the windows, making it hard to see. But everyone kept watching the sky, hoping that whoever was on that ship would help them instead of hurt them. For the first time in months, the people of the colony felt something they had almost forgotten. They felt hope. Maybe they wouldn't freeze to death after all. Maybe help had finally come from the stars. The alien ship hung in the sky like a giant jewel. It was smooth and curved, not like the square metal ships that humans built. Strange lights moved across its surface, changing from blue to purple to green. The ship was so big that it blocked out part of the sky. Amy Foster worked at her computer trying to send a radio message to the ship. Her fingers were so cold they could barely move, but she kept trying. Finally, after 2 hours, something amazing happened. The radio crackled to life. "Hello, people of the frozen world." The voice was unlike anything they had ever heard. It sounded like music mixed with words. "I am Zarthek. I come from far away. We saw your signals for help. We have come to help you." Everyone in the control room stood very still. Commander Lisa Grant stepped forward to the radio. Her heart was beating so fast she thought everyone could hear it. "This is Commander Lisa Grant," she said, trying to keep her voice steady. "We are humans from the planet Earth. Our people are dying from the cold. We need help very badly." There was a long pause. Then the musical voice came again. "Humans. Yes, we have heard stories about your kind. You are the ones who make heat inside your bodies, correct? And you must eat food to stay alive?" "Yes, that's right," Lisa said. "Very interesting. We have traveled to many worlds and met many different kinds of life, but we have never met anyone quite like humans. You are both very strong and very weak at the same time. We will send help right away." Within 1 hour, something incredible happened. Large metal boxes began to appear out of thin air in the middle of the colony. The people watched in amazement as the boxes just materialized like magic. The first box contained small devices that looked like metal cubes. When Amy turned one on, it began to glow and give off wonderful warm heat. "It's like a heater, but it doesn't need any electricity," Amy said with wonder in her voice. "I don't understand how it works, but it's making the room warm." The second box was full of packages that looked like food. The food was green and purple and didn't look like anything humans had ever seen before. But when Dr. Hayes tested it, he found that it was perfectly safe to eat and full of vitamins and nutrients that humans needed. "This is a miracle," Dr. Hayes told Lisa. "This food has everything our bodies need to stay healthy. And these heating devices are incredible. They seem to make energy out of nothing." All through the colony, people began to feel hope for the first time in months. Families gathered around the alien heaters, feeling real warmth for the first time in weeks. Children stopped shivering and began to smile again. The strange alien food tasted weird, but it filled their empty stomachs and made them feel strong. But Amy Foster was looking at the alien devices very carefully with her scientific instruments. What she found made her worried. "Commander," she said quietly to Lisa, "these devices aren't just helping us. They're watching us too. There are tiny machines inside them that are recording everything we do." Lisa felt a chill that had nothing to do with the cold. "What do you mean?" "The aliens aren't just giving us help," Amy explained. "They're studying us. These heaters and food packages have sensors in them. They're measuring our body temperature, our heart rate, how we react to everything. It's like we're animals in a zoo." Captain Morrison overheard them talking. "Are you saying they're spying on us?" "I'm not sure if it's spying," Amy said, "but they're definitely collecting information about us. Lots of information." Over the next few days, Zarthek talked to them more on the radio. The alien asked many questions about human life. How did humans have babies? Why did humans care so much about their children? Why did humans share food with each other when they were hungry? Why did humans risk their own lives to save strangers? "Your behavior is very strange to us," Zarthek told them one day. "Most intelligent life forms think only about themselves, but humans seem to care more about others than about themselves. This is very unusual." Dr. Hayes found this conversation interesting. "What do you mean, unusual?" Where we come from, and in most places we have visited, smart creatures learn to take care of themselves first. They become very advanced and don't need physical bodies anymore. They become pure energy and thought. But humans still have bodies that can be hurt. You still feel pain and cold and hunger. Yet you use your energy to help others instead of just helping yourselves. Young Danny Miller, the 12-year-old boy who had been helping organize the other children, was listening to the radio conversation. "Is that bad?" he asked. "Not bad," Zarthek replied. "Just very, very rare. We are learning much from watching you." As the days passed, the colony began to feel alive again. People weren't dying from the cold anymore. Children were playing and laughing. Adults were working together to fix things and make their home better. But everyone wondered, why were the aliens so interested in studying them? And what would happen when the aliens learned everything they wanted to know? Days passed and the colony slowly came back to life. The alien heaters kept everyone warm and the strange food filled their empty stomachs. But Zarthek kept asking questions every day on the radio. The alien wanted to know everything about humans. "Tell me about human families," Zarthek asked one morning. "Why do human parents give food to their children when they are hungry themselves?" Commander Lisa Grant thought about the question. "Because we love our children. We want them to live and be happy." "But if the parents die from hunger, who will take care of the children?" Zarthek asked. "Other humans will," Lisa said simply. "We take care of each other's children. That's what humans do." There was a long silence on the radio. Then Zarthek said, "This is very strange behavior. Most intelligent life forms focus on keeping themselves alive first." Dr. Hayes was listening to the conversation. "What do you mean by most intelligent life forms?" he asked. "We have visited many worlds," Zarthek explained. "We have met creatures that are very smart and advanced, but they all learned to think only about themselves. They became so advanced that they stopped having physical bodies. They became pure energy and thought. They don't need food or warmth or families anymore." "That sounds lonely," said young Danny Miller, who was always listening to the radio talks. "Lonely?" Zarthek repeated the word like it was foreign. "What is lonely?" "It's when you miss other people," Danny explained. "When you want to be with your friends and family, but you can't." Another long silence came from the radio. "We do not understand this feeling," Zarthek finally said. That night, something happened that would change everything. The colony's main power generator finally died completely. All the lights went out. The heating system stopped working. Even with the alien heaters, many parts of the colony became dangerously cold. But instead of panicking, something amazing happened. The humans came together like never before. Danny Miller, just 12 years old, gathered all the children in the colony. "We need to help the grown-ups," he told them. "Let's collect everything that can burn and make fires in every room." The children worked like a team. They gathered old papers, broken furniture, and anything else that would burn. They carried these materials to the adults who built small fires throughout the colony. The children didn't complain about the cold or ask for special treatment. They just worked. Mary Jenkins, the former farmer, started organizing the food distribution. She divided the alien food into small portions, making sure everyone got exactly the same amount. When there wasn't enough for everyone, she gave her own portion to the children and elderly people. "I'm not that hungry anyway," she would say. Even though everyone could see she was getting thinner, Captain Morrison and his security team did something incredible. Part of the colony's main building collapsed from the weight of ice and snow. 6 people were trapped inside in freezing temperatures. Morrison and his men went into the dangerous, unstable building to rescue them. They had no protective gear. The temperature inside was -20 degrees. Pieces of the ceiling could fall on them at any moment, but they went in anyway, one by one, and carried out all 6 trapped people. When someone asked Morrison why he risked his life for others, he just shrugged. They needed help, that's what you do. All of this was being recorded by the sensors in the alien devices. Zarthek was watching everything the humans did, and what the alien saw amazed him. "Commander Grant," Zarthek's voice came over the radio the next day. "We have been observing your people's behavior during the crisis last night. We do not understand What we saw. What do you mean? Lisa asked. When your power failed and conditions became life-threatening, we expected your people to fight each other for resources. We expected the strong to take from the weak. We expected panic and violence. This is what happens with most species when survival is threatened. But that didn't happen, Lisa said. No, it did not. Instead, your people worked together more than before. Your stress levels actually went down when you started helping each other. Your brain activity showed patterns we have never seen in any other species. You became stronger by helping others, not weaker. Dr. Hayes joined the conversation. Is that unusual? Beyond unusual, Zartek said. In all our travels across the galaxy, we have never seen this behavior. Most creatures become selfish when they face death. But humans become more generous. You risk your own lives to save others. You give your food to children and elderly people. You work together instead of fighting each other. The alien paused, then continued. Yesterday, we recorded something impossible. When your Captain Morrison went into the collapsed building to save those people, his fear levels were very high, but his brain also showed patterns of satisfaction and purpose. He was afraid, but he was also happy to help others. How is this possible? Lisa smiled, even though she knew the alien couldn't see her. That's just how humans are. We feel good when we help other people, even if it's dangerous for us. This makes no sense from a survival perspective, Zartek said. Helping others should make you weaker, not stronger. Maybe, Lisa said, but it's what makes us human. That night, the people of the colony gathered around their small fires. Children sat with their parents. Neighbors shared blankets with neighbors. Everyone had enough to eat because they shared what they had. And high above them, in the alien ship, Zartek studied the data from the sensors. The alien had traveled across the galaxy and met hundreds of intelligent species, but these humans were like nothing he had ever encountered before. They were weak individually but incredibly strong together. They were afraid of death, but they risked death for others. They needed food and warmth to survive, but they gave their food and warmth to others. For the first time in thousands of years, Zartek felt something new. The alien felt curious about these strange creatures called humans. And maybe, just maybe, Zartek felt something that might have been admiration. On the 7th day after first contact, Zartek requested permission to visit the colony in person. The being that materialized in their assembly hall was tall and ethereal, composed of shifting energy patterns contained within a humanoid framework. When it spoke, its voice carried harmonics that seemed to resonate in their bones. I have observed your species for 1 week, Zartek began, its form pulsing with what might have been excitement. What I have witnessed defies all our understanding of evolutionary development. Commander Grant stepped forward. How so? Your people face extinction, yet rather than succumb to despair, you adapt. You sacrifice for others. You find hope in hopelessness. This should not be possible for a species that has not transcended physical limitations. The alien moved among the colonists, its energy form casting strange shadows on the walls. The Veltar abandoned such traits long ago, considering them primitive. We believed that survival of the individual was the highest goal of evolution. But you humans demonstrate something we lost: the willingness to die for others, to endure, suffering for the benefit of the group. Dr. Hayes spoke up. Are you saying that's unusual? Beyond unusual, it is extraordinary. In our travels across the galaxy, we have encountered thousands of intelligent species. All follow the same pattern: individual advancement, transcendence of physical form, abandonment of primitive emotional bonds. But humans, the being's form flickered. Humans cling to these traits as sources of strength rather than weakness. Zartek paused before continuing. 3 days ago, when your generators failed completely, our sensors detected something remarkable. Despite the life-threatening conditions, your stress hormones actually decreased when you began working together. Your brain activity showed patterns we have never recorded in any other species. You derive strength from helping others, even at cost to yourselves. Young Danny Miller, The boy who had organized the children raised his hand tentatively. Does that mean we're weird? The alien's form shifted, and somehow they all sensed it was pleased. It means you are unique in the galaxy, young human. The Veltar have decided to establish a permanent research station here, not to study your technology, but to learn from your spirit. Captain Morrison frowned. Research station? We wish to remember what we have forgotten, Zarthek explained. For too long we have viewed physical existence as a limitation to be overcome. But you humans have shown us that these limitations can be sources of strength. Your need for warmth brings you together. Your need for food teaches you to share. Your mortality makes you value life itself. Commander Grant felt tears freezing on her cheeks. So you'll help us repair our systems? More than that. We will establish a permanent colony here, side by side with yours. The Veltar will provide technology and resources, while you will teach us something far more valuable: how to be truly alive. As the weeks passed, New Haven transformed from a dying outpost into a thriving community. The Veltar technology solved their immediate survival needs, but it was the human spirit that made the colony a place worth living. Children played in heated corridors while adults worked alongside energy beings to build a new kind of civilization. And, in the cosmos beyond, word spread among the spacefaring species of a remarkable discovery, a race that had achieved the stars not by abandoning their humanity, but by embracing it. The humans of New Haven had saved themselves not through superior technology or transcendent evolution, but through the simple act of caring for one another when all seemed lost. They had been freezing to death until he came, not just Zarthek, but the spirit of humanity itself, proving that sometimes the greatest strength comes not from what we overcome, but from what we choose to preserve.